is Rachel. I am the Thrifty Crocheter, and I haven't done a live in a really long time. So I thought I'd come on tonight and see if anybody shows up, and we can just chit chat for a while. Um, One of the things that I got today, I was out shopping. I went to a couple of thrift stores, and I also went to Half Price Books, and I got this book. And you know what? I decided, I need to clean up my craft room a little bit. So by doing that, I can make a project. So I decided to make this blanket called Dreamy Stripes. And I'm just going to be using up my my stash so I can help get rid of some of this yarn and use it up to make a really nice blanket. It's really beginner friendly. Um, it uses a lot of double crochets basically, and single crochets, um, chains. I mean, it's real simple, but it's gonna be really pretty. You just use these double crochet clusters. Um, but yeah, if you hear some tippy tappies, that would be my dog Oliver. He decided to join me in my room, down here in my room today, or tonight I should say. He's got to be nosy. He likes to be my shadow. He's got to go wherever I'm going. Um, and I have on right here my pillow, crafting pillow. My girls got it for me for my birthday this year. Not exactly a Valero, but it's close enough, for, as they say, close enough for government work. um, so how is everybody doing? What is everybody working on? Um, and like I said, like if you saw my videos earlier today, I did go to Half Price Books, and I went to Barnes and Noble, and I went to two thrift stores, got some more yarn. Um, I'm also I did a devotional this morning. Did a devotional yesterday. I'm coming back to doing devotionals every day, every morning. Um, and when I'm doing the devotionals, I have three books. I have the 365 Days of Kindness, the Daily Post for Grandmothers, and the Illustrated Words of Jesus for Women. And the really fun thing about this one is that you can color it in. You can color it in the verses. Um, see, like here, I've colored in some verses. And occasionally, I've added I've added stickers. So it's kind of a fun thing. And hello Kim, hello Cloudy Pat. And then I tried to end my devotions with this prayer cross. And this prayer cross, I found. Why is Nightbot deleting my message? And when did I let Nightbot do that? Nightbot. I'm going to figure out how to fix Nightbot, because Nightbot's not being nice. Anyway, this I found a while back when I was out thrifting, and it was mixed with some yarn, and I pulled this square out, and it came with the little prayer. And so when I read the devotions for the day, I end it with this. And then also, and I haven't made any. And I'm gonna come back with the Bella Coco I'm gonna do can't talk now. How to's on how various stitches. We've already done several of them. Um, Speaking of which, I was just watching another live, and they were talking about Bella Coco has yarn. I didn't know they carried yarn. I know they had this nice box with all these stitches to learn, and I've already done tutorials. That's the word I was looking for, tutorials. But now I'm gonna do some more tutorials on the various stitches. Um, I've already started doing, and there are couple of videos on these. And I am going to be making more of these squares with you. We're going to be making more squares. Wow, we jumped from 0 to 2 to 15 to up to 25. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, everybody. I just dropped my project. There we go. I've got my pillow right here to craft with. I was just showing everybody I'm going to be doing devotion. Oh, back down to 6. I tell you, it keeps going up and down and up and down, but that's okay. We're going to be doing devotions every day. We're going to learn how to do these various granny squares from the granny square card deck and the granny square flower deck. We're also going to be learning how to do stitches from Bella Coco crochet card deck. Going to be doing projects with you. I did a haul. I did a yarn haul earlier today, and I showed off some books and yarn that I purchased today. We'll still be doing those as well. But I just took a little time off for myself, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm back. Right now, I just got to kind of clean up my craft room. I decided to work on a new project to help clear up some of my stash, and then I need to get going on some whips, get those done so I can get some more stuff off this floor. But you know, one thing at a time, and one project at a time. Sometimes that's all it takes. You know, sometimes you got to do stuff one step at a time. But yeah, this is a pretty simple project that I've started. I'm just going to use up scraps because that's what this book is for. It says 101 easy scrap projects. And so I'm making the blanket called Dreamy Stripes. So I hope you all are having a very wonderful evening, and I hope you are having good weather wherever you are. We've had, today was like in the 70s, I think the highest it got was maybe like 80, 81, 82, something like that. And we had a nice breeze. It was so nice outside today. It was nice to have cooler temperatures and no humidity for once. Like I won't say the air was dry, but it was definitely no humidity. So that was just really, really nice to not have humidity. How are you folks doing today? I hope you guys are well. I'm from the Hoosier State, aka Indiana. Just kind of wanted to come on here and see, because I haven't been on here in a long time, and I just wanted to come back on here and see how everybody was doing. And I'm working on a project right now. Say hello. I'm gonna, oops, not paying attention. See, that's what happens when you're not paying attention to what you're doing and you do a stitch wrong. And then you gotta frog it out and do it all over again. And whether you crochet or you knit, you know what that's like. Luckily, it was only one time, one stitch. So I only had to go back one stitch, so that's cool. Um, if you're new to this channel, watch my videos. I've already got some videos out there. Um, they're a little bit older, but watch them. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. Tell others. Go back, and even if you've been here a while, go back and rewatch some of my videos fully and like them, leave comments, because as some of you know, YouTube loves all that stuff. It was part of the algorithm jazz. You know, they like all that. They like all that stuff. Um, I am still trying to reach my first 500. Um, I am not quite there yet. Still trying to get there, and I still need tons more of, as far as subscribers. I still need to get my first 500. As far as watch hours, I still need tons of watch hours. Um, so I just got to keep, I just got to get working at it. I have noticed lately that some of the people that I watch, and I watch their lives, um, they have changed their streaming service to Restream for various reasons. I'm not sure of all of them. I haven't really asked, but I have noticed that they changed theirs to Restream. But it looks pretty. I mean, it looks. I mean, it looks good. Um, I don't know. I'm still. I consider myself still new at this because I've only been doing this a little over a year now, and I'm still trying to learn all the technology of it. um, I am in my lower 50s, but I am still kind of, and I'm very. I mean, I'm used to watch. I mean, I still watch people's lives and watch other people's videos and how tos and stuff. But as far as being a YouTuber myself, I'm still very new at this. So I'm still learning. But I do know how to crochet. Now I'm not a pro. I'll give you that. I'm not a pro, but I do try my very best. And most of the things that I make, I usually give as gifts. I'm not one of those people who makes things and then goes and sells them. And if you are one of those, that's cool too. Um, and I hope that you at least make your money back in yarn because, as we all know, well, I mean, yarns come in various price points depending on the name, the weight, and all that good stuff. So whether it's a bougie yarn or not, um, or if the hand like a hand dyed yarn, all that takes an account in price. So, um, also, and of course they have to pay a rental fee for renting the space, and so. But I applaud people who do that. Um, they take their stuff to craft fairs and sell their goods, and I applaud people who do that. I couldn't do that. I don't have that kind of time. I've certainly got the yarn, but I just I just personally don't have that kind of time for it right now. working an 80-hour job, second shift, and I have a daughter that I have to take to work every morning. I just don't have that kind of time. Um, Maybe after I retire later down the road, but not right now. I just don't have I just don't have the time because I don't have time to do all to crochet that much. I mean, think about it when you're crocheting, you're only by yourself making that unless you got buddies helping you to make, and they're making a lot of projects too, and you guys working together as a team, but mm, anyway. So how is everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing well today. It is August the 2nd. It is August already. Where does the time go? I mean, seriously, where does time go? When we're little kids, we are in this great big hurry to to grow up and to be an adult. Because when you're a kid, everything you just think everything is free because your parents pay for everything for you, and then you become an adult, and then it's like, oh, this isn't so fun after all. I mean, yeah, adults it can be fun, but it's literally work. You have to go to work to to pay your bills. I was not expecting. This is the second time this happened in this little ball of yarn. Excuse me. And I dropped my hook. This is the second time I'm going to have to tie an end. How am I? How in the world? How did that happen? Somehow the same. It got tangled underneath the foot of my chair. I don't know how. I don't know why. Okay. If you hear any traffic outside, I apologize. There is a window behind my camera. The main road is just about a block away from my house. So, you hear traffic. There's a whole lot this time of night, but if you hear traffic, that's why. Okay. At the time, come on. Yeah, you ever have one of those days with your yarn or it doesn't want to cooperate? Well, that's kind of been my day today. Oh, this morning also, I showed you how to make this little tote bag, and I was showing you the yarn that it came with, and I'm like, there is just no way for that little bit of yarn to make 5 squares and sew them together. So I used my yarn to make this square, and I set it down. So I got to make 4 more squares, and then I'll make the tote bag, and I'll make the handle. Sew them together and make the handle and all that good jazz. So that's that. Um, but yeah, the yarn that it came with, it looked to be like 4 weight, but at least according to the box, it was 4 weight. But trust me, it wasn't 4 weight, and there definitely was not enough to do all that. That's pretty. Well, thank you. I do like the pattern that they gave. This was the pattern they gave in there, and it's a pretty simple little pattern. The petals on the flower are made with triple crochets. They call them trebles. I call them triples, triple crochets. And that's what all of these are also is triples. But the centers are half, the center circle here, the center of the flower is with half doubles and then trebles and triples. And it's in American terms because there is a difference between American and uh, English terms, American and UK terms. Um, if you ever watched Vintage Crochet, she explains all that, the difference between American and UK terms. In fact, um, in these Bella, in the Bella Crochet cards, one of the cards it has in here actually does show the two sets. The stitch conversion of UK versus US terms. And here's the hook sizes for US in UK terms. Which is a really smart idea. So hello to Hooking Good Creations and to Mitchell and Mehmet and Cloudy Pat. Just a weird, weird dude. I like that name. Nightbot wasn't being nice earlier, and I apologize. And Kim V. I don't know how to fix Nightbot. I didn't even know Nightbot was even on. How's everybody's weekend? I know tomorrow I have church, and then after church, going over to my dad's house to have lunch with him, and I don't know what we're gonna do after that. um, Probably just come home and take a nap. Usually after lunch we come home and take a nap. Actually, I have a church that I go to, and my dad has a church that he goes to, and they usually get done at different times. So I wait till after he gets home from his church before I go over to his house. Because mine gets done about the time when he's about in the middle of his, so. But right now, I am just working on a blanket. And I can get some more of yarn off of my floor and get some stuff done. Oh, I wanted to show you something that I forgot about. I will be right back. Oliver's still joining us. Okay, I'm back. Excuse me, Oliver. um, Here in Fort Wayne, from Fort Wayne, Indiana, Fort Wayne nonprofit thrift trail, August 15th and 16th. That's 2 weeks from today. And this is the official trail passport. And what they're doing, and there's the map, the map. Okay, I'm sorry. And I talked about this in one of my videos I just did. Where you go to these various locations, and you go shopping, and they put a stamp on. If you go to each of the locations, they stamp it, and as you shop, you get an additional 30% off of your total everywhere you go, and then then you fill this in. Then you fill out your information, and you put your name in for a raffle. But you have to make sure all your stamps are done. You have to have all the stamps filled in, and you put your name in for a raffle. And they've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different locations. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 9 locations. They're all different thrift stores. And I just think that is just an ingenious that is just an ingenious idea. That is so super smart. And I hope that your town does something similar to this, because they really should. Especially if you have a lot of thrift stores, or if, like in my city, there's a particular thrift store that's got 2 locations within a couple blocks of each other. If they have same store in various locations, that's really cool. And so I picked them up from both of the locations of the 2 stores that I went to today. So I'll make sure I have some. And I might go back to the thrift stores on Tuesday. Well, Tuesday after I have to go Tuesday afternoon, because Tuesday morning I have to take Dad to boxing, and it's kind of boxing, but it's not boxing. Well, they do box, but they put a boxing bag, and they have to do a lot of other things. It's for I'm sorry, I had to watch my dog, because earlier today, when I was making a video, my dog decided to get into my yard, and I was not happy. And I think I was doing devotions then, I think. And he was getting into my yard, and that was not making me happy. I don't know if you guys have pets, but if you have pets, do they ever get into your yarn stash? He usually doesn't, because he knows better, but I don't know if he thought he was trying to hand me a little ball of yarn, or if he thought it was a toy. I don't know. But I'm like, no, my yarn is not a toy. It is not a toy. Right now he's just kind of being nosy and looking at everything. Again, I apologize for if you actually. I don't know if traffic is coming through. Some of the cars that come down the main road is just, they're kind of. I live in a housing addition, and like I said, the main road is about a block away, and the camera is sitting. There's a window right behind my camera. So I apologize for any noise you hear. I mean, besides Oliver and his tippy tappies, because claws tippy-tappy on the wood floor. But if you hear traffic, that's why. I actually almost prefer if my neighbors were having a party, because sometimes my neighbors do have a party, and then you can hear their music, and I can hear the music in my house. Because sometimes they do play it that loud. Not always, but sometimes. Nobody thinks he's got to sniff at everything. He's weird. He's just a silly dog. His name's Oliver. Hi, Oliver. So I just wanted to come on here and see how everyone is and have everybody say hello. I know there's other people having their lives tonight too. But you know what? You kind of have to jump in where you can. I mean, this is a pop-up live. It's not like a scheduled live. I can't really... I guess I don't know. I don't really want to schedule them because I don't always know if I could actually have the time to actually schedule a good live, because some people are only on for an hour, some are on for a couple of hours. I've even seen some people, I haven't seen her lately. I know there's a couple of people who I swear they're like on for like half a day. I mean, they just sit there and I don't know how they have the time to sit there and crochet all day long. I wish I had that kind of time, but I don't. I mean, even on my off days, I'm usually busy with something, usually doing something with family. And especially since I have a daughter at home that doesn't drive and doesn't ever want to learn how to drive. So I take her places, and since my dad can't drive anymore, I take him places, which I don't mind. So I'm kind of the taxi driver, and so, oops, I forgot to put I took this down to go get something out of my room, and I forgot to put this back on. Silly me. Silly me. So, but yeah, I'm still going to be doing devotions and reading my 3 devotional books and ending it with the cross prayer square. I'm going to bring back, I'm still going to have tutorials on stitches, on various stitches. We're also going to be doing the great work on the granny squares. And then I think of other projects. I will let you know. Like today, I did. I got to make the other squares, but I showed you how to make squares to make the little tote bag. I made the first square. I got to make the other squares now to make the little tote bag. Because the yarn that came with that project was, I mean, it was pretty little yarn, but it was pretty yarn, but it was also little yarn. There was no way you're gonna make 5 squares and sew them together and no. See, there's a problem with, I like kits, but I don't like kits at the same time, because a lot of times they don't give you enough yarn to make the project. Like I have a stack of kits that are, and they give you directions to make, like take for instance the crochet horses and ponies. Like they give you enough to make 1 pony, but then they give you directions on how to make multiple. So you'd have to use your own yarn anyway if you want to make a whole herd of horses. You know, and same thing with each of them. Like I have one for doggies and one for kitty cats, and the Nutcracker. I think they only give you enough yarn to make one of the people in the Nutcracker. Um, there's I have a Winnie the Pooh one that makes only has enough yarn to make just one of the characters, but they also give you directions on how to make the other characters. Um, I mean, it's things like that, you know. I don't know. I guess I'm just being a little too critical. It's like I like the kids, but I don't. um, because I wish they gave you enough to do everything on there, so you wouldn't have use up your own yarn. I mean, because even if you used your yarn to make the others, because your yarn is probably going to be, even if you almost would have to use like baby sport weight to equal the same thin thickness as the yarns that are come with those projects, in order for it to for all of your for all the other characters to be the same size as the one in the box when you're done with the one in the box. Otherwise, you're gonna have one that's this big and everybody else is gonna be this big, you know, and it just wouldn't look the same. So that's why, I say, I like the kits, but I don't like the kits at the same time. Okay, this yarn is going to be going out here soon. And I still have a few more of these to go to the end. And then I got to do a row of singles across the tops. So I'm going to need another color. Let's do, oh, I have another pink. Nah, let's save the pink. We're going to go to purple. We're going to change colors. Why not? We're going to make this look colorful. We're going to make this colorful. Colorful. Okay. Oh, I have also recently found out some people that I know happen to crochet that I did not know knew how to crochet. One of the ladies that I found out knows how to crochet um, used to attend my church, but now goes to a different church. I mean, this lady, I know she likes to do a lot of crafting, but I didn't know she knew how to crochet, and she crochets. I think that's awesome. And then another lady that attends my father's church, she was just saying that she crochets, and that uh, friends of hers wanted her to start a class, and so she has started a class at the Y, aka like the YMCA, and I think that's just really, really awesome. That is super awesome. Mm. And I've let them both know, hey, I got a YouTube channel. See, the thing about having a YouTube channel is sort of like being a puppeteer behind the puppet stage, because you can kind of hide behind the camera to make as you're giving the instructions on how to make something, instead of having this having all these eyes literally on you right in front of you. I don't, I don't know. I'm getting tangled again. Yes, I am. Getting tangled in my yarn for a minute. I hope you guys are having a good day. And how has your year been and your summer been? Hope you're having a good summer. I know a lot of people are sending their kids back to school either now or they're coming short. Going to be starting here shortly. Because it's August. I know when my daughter and I were at the mall today. I mean, yeah, it's the weekend, so there's going to be more people than if it was a weekday. But even it just seemed a little more crowded than usual. Because I think it's because the weather's really nice and it's back to school, so everybody's doing their back to school shopping. Everybody's got to have the latest and greatest stuff. Before they start school, so they can look cool, man. We know what that's like. We remember what that's like. Everybody thinks they gotta fit in with the in crowd. Okay. Okay. Do do do. Do. Do, 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 do. Last stitch is chain one, skip the last chain space, double crochet in the last stitch, chain one, turn. Okay, that's what I thought. I just had to double check myself. Chain one, turn. And then we do a single crochet there. Chain one, and then single crochet in the cluster. Chain one. Now we do our single crochets, chain one all the way across. It's a pretty easy pattern. Might give it to I'm going to give it to somebody. I don't know who yet, but I will give it to somebody. Sometimes when I'm making something, I have somebody in mind for it. Somebody who I know that will appreciate it. A couple of people in my family, some of the people in my family really appreciate the things that I did. And sometimes, they're really impressed with some things. And then I have other people in my family who, when I give them things, they don't do so well with them and they end up losing them. My oldest daughter, her first marriage, this dude was awful. Anyway, I made the most gorgeous blanket for them. And when they got divorced, he threw it away. Threw it away. I made washcloths and dishcloths. I've made pillow with a really neat cover on top of it. And he would just mock everything that I made. Oh, it made me so mad. And he threw away a lot of stuff that I made. She wasn't able to salvage anything. I worked so hard on it because it was so difficult. This blanket that I made for him was so difficult. It was like one of the hardest things I'd ever made because the instructions were just so, at the time, they were so hard for me to figure out what the heck they were saying because the instructions were, didn't make any sense to me. Oh, it made me mad. Do you have anybody like that that just, you think that they're gonna like it, and then they end up just totally, and then like, I had made this rug for them because they wanted a rug for their apartment, so I made them this really nice rug, and the dude, he had his pickup truck. He put in the back of his pickup truck, and it got all rowdy. I was so mad. I was so mad. I mean, technically, I guess I shouldn't because once you give it to somebody, how they use it is up to them. But at the same time, you're going, I put all that time and work into something, not for you to, just so you can destroy it. You know? Some people just don't appreciate it, or they think that it's cheap. Yarn is not cheap, folks. And you know this. Um, that's why people try to buy it when it's on sale. Or they're like me and they go to thrift stores and garage and yard sales and buy yarn. It's a lot cheaper then. And it's still usable. Um, that's why I appreciate thrift stores. I like being able to purchase the yarn from thrift stores. And I appreciate those who donate their yarn to thrift stores because then people like me purchase it and make beautiful things with said yarn. And I almost wish that I could meet the people that donated the yarns, so I go, thank you for your donation, and show them what I made with the yarn, and go, see what you missed out on. See, and give them some ideas of what they can make with that yarn that they have. Okay. I have to pay attention to what I'm doing a little bit. Make sure I just put my stitches, my hook in the right places. I'm using an I9 5.5 millimeter hook because that's what it called for, an I9 hook. And that's going on like 10 o'clock, going on 10 o'clock my time. And it's a weekend, but I just wanted to see who was on, see who was up for a chat. I was going to do this on my laptop, but my laptop was not cooperating. So I'm just here on my phone. I am using my phone tonight. So what are you guys up to? Ooh. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out some things on my phone. Sorry that it moves. I got a arm thing holding my camera, holding my phone for me. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Maybe I'll come on tomorrow afternoon and see if anybody's around and wants to say howdy. Maybe some of you have gone to bed. Some of us like to stay up late. See, I'm used to working until 9 o'clock, so I usually don't go to bed till like 11. Sometimes after I don't go to bed till after midnight. So I'm used to being up this late. How is how you guys doing? I'm working on a blanket. Decided to use up some scraps, and so I'm using a pattern from a book that I got today from Half Price Books. So I can use up some scraps. Actually, use up a lot of scraps. And sometimes the best way to do that is to make a scrappy blanket. Even scrappy blankets look good. There are so many ways you can use scraps when you're making to make a blanket. There's several projects in here like that. I have another book. I have another book over there in that pile that also talks about how to use scraps. Um, but that's why some of us are thankful for people who donate to thrift stores, because then we get to use their scraps to make projects. It's very much a money saver. And having to buy, especially when all you need is a little bit. I mean, if there's no reason to buy a whole skein for something small, then why buy a whole skein when you can go to the thrift store and buy a small amount? Because somebody's donated what's left over, and then you can use that to make whatever it is you wanted to make. Now, something that I would like to do in the future, and not gonna be like in the immediate future, but something I'd like to do in the future, I would love to be able to make angels. Make them doily angels. Those are so cool. I used to have, years ago, and they got messed up, and that really bothered me. They got messed. I can't remember how they got messed up, but they got messed up. Because somebody had made me these ornaments, and there was an angel, these crocheted angel, and a crocheted this hot air balloon, and they used like a regular ornament for the balloon part, but they had like the basket and the part that goes up over the ball. It was crocheted, and there was like a couple other ornaments, and they were made with crochet thread. I think it was one time the cat knocked over the tree and it messed them all up or something. Something got to them and they got totally messed up. And I was so upset because they were so pretty and so delicate. And I never got to see them again. Oh, it made me so mad. But it was when we had a cat and a dog, and the cat decided, oh, let's go racing up the Christmas tree and knock the tree over. Broke half of our ornaments and most of my lights. I had to buy all brand new lights. So bad. I had to start all over again. Ugh, cats. If you have cats, I'm happy for you. I'm not against cats, but I'm just saying. Hard to have a Christmas tree that year. Well, oh, also this morning, the project that bag that I was making, it came with this plastic hook, and since it's made of plastic, it's got, I don't know if you can see, but no, you can't, it's a little fuzzy, but it does have some ridges on there from, where they make it. So it made it a little harder to work with the yarn that I worked with because I kept wanting to catch on the ridge there. So that was slightly frustrating. Um, but in order for everything to maintain the same size, I'm going to make the other squares. Like I said in the video, I'm going to make the other squares with that hook so everything stays the same. So I don't make one too big or too small. I don't want to get it all messed up. So we're almost in. Nope. Well, hear you. All right, now I gotta change to my white. I have to go back to the white because it's striped one row of white, one row of color, another row of white, another row of color. Actually, it's 2 rows, but can't tell it. So, wait a minute. I'm using the correct end here. I had wrapped it up when I was done using it at the time. So I want to make sure I'm using the one that's going to be because I was center pulling this yarn. That's the side I don't want, because that's the one that goes on the outside. There goes my hook again. Alright, here's my center fold. I try to center pull as much as possible when it comes to skeins. Anybody else center pull instead of on the outside? You know, you center pull instead of from the outside. To me, it's so much makes it a lot easier to deal with if you center pull. I wish I learned that years ago. I really do. If I had learned that years ago, it would have made crocheting so much easier. So much easier. But I didn't know that then. And it would roll and roll and roll and roll. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Rolling, 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 right. Okay. Okay. So we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got to take this one off. Take the purple off. Line that up. Put that back in the bag. Five. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, we're on row 5. Row 5 and 6. Repeat rows 3 and 4, changing to main color and last single crochet of row 6. Fasten off, color change, and turn. And for rows 7 and 10, repeat rows 3 through 6, alternating at the end of row 10. At the end of row 110, change the main color, fasten off, change color, chain 1, turn. And then it gives directions for a border. Now I am going back and doing these triple cluster, or yeah, these double clusters. Where it's got 3 double crochets, double crochet, 3 double crochet cluster. Skipping the space, and we're doing the cluster inside the single crochets. Chain 1, and then all the way across. And when I crochet, I like to hide the tails as we go, because then that way you don't have to worry about putting them in later, because you've already tucked them in. Now there are occasions where I might have to put the tails in later, but usually if I can tuck the tail in while I'm working, then that makes life a heck of a lot easier later. Makes life a heck of a lot easier later if you can do it while you're working on it. But that's my prerogative. Everybody's got their own way of doing things. I'd rather save myself a lot of headache and just tuck my tails in while I'm working instead of waiting until afterwards. That's just too much for me. Because crochet is supposed to be about fun. I hope you guys are having a really good weekend. Like I said before, still have devotions. Still gonna show you guys how to do various stitches and how to do the different granny squares. I haven't made any more of the squares yet because I was waiting until I came back on. I took some time off for myself because June 10th was a year ago. June 10th, that my mom passed away. And July 2nd was a year ago that my husband died, and then mid-July, my brother's best friend, and she's also a good family friend of ours, passed away. So that was just a lot at one time. Hello, Froggy Holler Acres. I like that name. Hello, hello, hello. I hope everybody is doing well. I went thrift shopping today. If you saw my video today, I showed you all the yarn that I got, and I got the books from Half Price Books. In fact, the blanket that I'm doing is coming from one of the books from Half Price Books, and I'm using up some of my yarn to help use up my stash. 2 weeks from today, in our city in Fort Wayne, they're doing a thrift trail where you go to all of the various thrift stores that are participating. And here's the map. And then once you go, they put a stamp on there. And as you're shopping, I got it upside down, you go to the various stores and they put a stamp on there. And then as you go, every time you go to one, they give you 30% off of your total. And then when you get them all, get all the stamps stamped, then you got to fill out the information and drop it off, and you get your name put into a raffle for a drawing. And this is the first time they've ever done anything like this, and I just think this is just the most wonderful idea. And I hope somewhere in your town they do the same thing, because this is so smart. This is so intelligent. Anyway, I don't know who came up with it, but that's smart. Especially when you have a lot of people who love to go thrifting. You know, some people like to go thrifting for clothes. Some like to go to find craft projects. Some people like me go to thrift stores to get yarn. So, yeah. You know, some people buy yarn for a specific project in mind. That is a good idea, Froggy. I agree. This is a very good idea. And I hope other places do this too, because this is so smart. Especially when, you know, some of these stores have more than one location. Like the one I went to today, the store I went to today, is the same store but two different locations. I mean, and these two stores, you see the locations are within, like, it's silly because they're in like a few blocks from, like a block or two from each other, which is really funny. But yeah, they have one of the stores that's also in it. They have a has a new location that they just opened this week in a mall, in our mall. We have a mall here in town, and they opened a thrift store in the mall. It's still a thrift store in the name. Like, it's Lighthouse Thrift Store and thrift and boutique. It's more of a boutique, so it's got the little bit higher prices than most thrift stores. But I still think that's a wonderful concept for a mall to have a thrift store in a mall. That's a good concept, in my opinion. Oh, up. I did it again. I messed up. Gotta fix this stitch. I always thought that would be a good concept to have thrift store, especially if you do thrift store prices. I didn't look at everything. I did look at the only had was like clothes and jewelry. In this little boutique store in the mall, where they had added this thrift store, decided to have a new location in the mall. They had just clothes and shoes and jewelry and bags. Um, so, but their main store, it's another location way from the mall, like way from the mall. Um, like way across town from the mall. It's a nice enough little store. It actually had a separate like little hallway room in it. Um, but they were selling some. I didn't like their prices. It was like kind of like a rich person's thrift store. Because they were kind of high prices for being a thrift store. They were definitely not most thrift store prices, and they were selling more expensive items than most people donate, I guess. I mean, this must be rich people donations that were just, I mean, I don't know. I just want to call the rich persons, like we have another thrift store in town that I also kind of call the rich person's thrift store, because they also sell kind of the higher priced items, and they are a little more high sticker priced for a thrift store. Um, I mean, I understand that the stores have to, yeah, they have their own separate bills to pay, and to because they have to rent out the space and pay the bills for for the building they're in, but still, and they got to pay their employees. But I don't know. To me, a thrift store should have thrift store prices no matter what location you're in. Yeah, some of them are. Not all of them. Most, like we still have ones that are definitely at thrift store prices, like what I call like garage, like your garage sale store, garage and yard sale prices. But there are a couple of them here in town that have they're more of the rich people stuff that they've donated, and so they're definitely got the more higher price ticket prices on them. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too judgmental. If I am, I apologize. But when you go to a thrift store, you expect thrift store prices, not prices that seem like you're buying it right from like Walmart or something. you know, when you go to a thrift store, you expect different pricing than you would if you walked into like a Walmart. Um, but anyway, um, but I am looking forward. My girls and I are going there, and they have say where you can download the map and print it off. But I was happy to see in the thrift store today that they had the actual maps. So now my daughter doesn't have to print them off. Yay! She doesn't have to worry about printing them off. Um, we I've got some other projects in mind. Go back and rewatch my old videos, and there are projects now. When we're making YouTube videos, it says if they're for kids or not for kids, and I always press the not for kids that way. But it's my videos are always for adults and kids. You will never see anything inappropriate on it. But see if I put it just for that is for kids, and it's only going to put it on YouTube Kids, and only kids can see it and adults can't. So it's like I'm gonna make it so it says not for kids, but kids and adults can watch my videos. Just so you know. I just want to put that out there. But watch my, because YouTube likes it when people watch your videos and like, comment, and subscribe, because they count all that. Like I said, like, comment, and subscribe to me on the Thrifty Crocheter. I have devotional videos. I have tutorials on stitches. I have tutorials on some smaller projects. But go back and watch them. Make the projects. Like, comment, and like and comment on them. So maybe a little longer than the others. Right now, I'm doing a live just to see how many people are on tonight. It's after 10 o'clock my time. I'm in Indiana. It's a Saturday night. This is my weekend off. I work every other weekend. I haven't done a live in a really long time. So I just thought I would come on for a while to see who's on and say hi and work on my blanket. And work on a blanket while I'm talking to you. And I've got various projects that I'm working, various whips that I'm working on. That way, if I get work on these whips, get them so that they are no longer whips and that they are finished objects. So I can get some stuff off this floor and get this place cleaned up a little bit better so that we don't have so many whips all around here. Couple of them though, I know are going to be emotionally hard for me to make. One of the blankets that I'm making, I had decided it was soon after one of my dogs had passed away, and I decided to buy colors of yarn that were the same colorings of all the dogs that I've had in my life that have passed, and I'm using those to make a blanket. I'm still in the middle of that one. That one's been put on hold for a long time. I also have another blanket in this far corner over here. It's also going to be really emotionally hard for me to get finished because I originally was making it started years ago for my husband, and some of the colors represented him and represented things that he liked or different family members. So that one's going to be emotionally hard for me to finish. But the one I'm working on right now is the book that I bought today called 101 Easy Scrap Projects, and I'm making dreamy stripes. And so I'm just kind of using up my scrap yarns, but all the others going to be pretty easy. I have years ago there was something called Crochet Surprise, and it was like one of those kits where every month they would send you a project, and they would send you everything that you need to make the project, like all the yarn and the instructions, and sometimes they would send you some tea. And this was loose leaf tea. I tell you what, loose leaf tea tastes so much better than tea bag tea. I don't know how to explain the taste difference, but to me, loose leaf tea has a much better taste than bag tea, and it's so good. I do like tea, but I still haven't made all the projects yet, so I still got to make those, and I still have all these kits over here. I want to get those made, or one of the YouTubers that I watch, has also she was like if you don't want them, I'll take them. So I might send them off to her. Um, if I do, there is one or two, probably two that if she makes them, I'm going to ask her if she will make them for me. One of them, especially one, because one of them is Raggedy Ann, and I really don't want to mess up Raggedy Ann. I do not want to mess up on that Raggedy Ann doll. Um, and I'll tell you why. And I don't know if I could emotionally make it anyway, because Raggedy Ann has was a huge deal for me. Um, my mother passed away last year, and when I was a kid growing up, my mom used to tell us, especially me before my brother was born, she used to make out the most wonderful Raggedy Ann and Andy stories at bedtime. Sometimes she read the little golden books, but usually she made up her own little fairy tales of Raggedy Ann and Andy and all their friends. And there is a crochet kit of Raggedy Ann, and I think I would rather have somebody else make it and make sure it's made correctly and that she stands up, and like and everything. Because I'm afraid if I make it, I'll mess it up. It'll be I won't have my no. If I'm gonna get her done, I'm gonna have somebody else do it that can do a better job than me. I can kind of do amigurumi, but I'm not real good at it. Um, so that's why I would have her do it, and then I might have ask if she could do one of the Winnie the Pooh ones for me. But I haven't decided on that one. But I'm definitely gonna. Oh, the Nutcracker. I would want her to do the Nutcracker and the Raggedy Ann. The Nutcracker one because I collect Nutcrackers, and I think that one has. I can't remember which character has in it right now, but there is a character. One of the characters is in it. The main character is in that one. Okay. Oh, there it is. I had to find where my space was. Um, but most of the whips I have, I can do. But like I said, there are just a few projects. There are just a few things that they're just too emotionally hard for me. Um, that are just gonna have to wait until I'm emotionally ready to do it and finish it. Um, I don't know if you guys can understand that, but oh, Froggy, you have that book too. Oh, yay! I have a well. Here's one of my bookshelves, but next to it, and you can't see it, is a whole other bookshelf that is filled with books. And this shelf, I can't point very well. Ugh! This bookshelf not only does it have some yarns, but there are some books on the bottom, and there's like a whole stack of books on the floor. So I need another bookshelf to put books because I have too many books. I have more books than I can fit on my shelf. Oh, you made a Raggedy Ann? Oh, that is so cool. Um, um, I have made a couple of stuffed animals before and gave them to people, but I don't call them amigurumis. I call them stuffed animals or dolls if they're people. Um, well, that's another thing I've noticed, and at half price books, if they're not, if they don't have, I mean, they have more knit than they do crochet books, and they do have some books that have both knit and crochet. And the trouble with knit and crochet books is that they're like 90% knit and 10% crochet. And as a crocheter, that bugs the heck out of me. But speaking of kits, at half price books, I've noticed that lately they've also been selling crochet kits, and like they have one that's for That's Dolly Parton. Another one that's from the TV show Friends. Um, Another one is the Golden Girls. Um, what was the other one? Oh, it was a female singer. That's all I can remember, but I can't remember who it was now. Um, but they have those kind of kits at half price books. Um, the bookstore in the mall. I just had that in my head and I lost it too. Um, they do sell, they do have one shelf, maybe a whole shelf, maybe half a shelf of crochet books. And then the rest are all like they have one whole shelving unit that's crafting, but like one shelf maybe is all crochet or maybe half crochet. There's is like knitting. And then over on the other shelves where all the other like crafting, where all the crafting kits are, they have several different crochet kits. Like they've got the one that I have, which is the cactus one. And I think I saw the puppies and the kitties, which I already have. There's another dinosaur one, which I already have. And there was like farm animals, and there was, I mean, they have all various ones, but there's usually enough yarn to make, and like I said before, it's usually enough yarn to make one project, but then they give you instructions, or my dad likes to say destructions, on how to make all the other various ones. But you know, if you want to make them all the same size, then you would need to make them all out of the same kind of yarn, you know. So, um, oh, and I explained this in the video today. The project to make um, the little tote bag, which I still have to make the other squares yet. Um, the comes from Five and Below, which I bought earlier this week. Five and Below does have the kit, and it came with the yarn, and like there's no way that little bit of yarn was going to be enough to make 5 squares and sew it together and have a handle. No. So then I used my own yarn to make that square, and I still got to make 4 more squares, and then to make the tote. So, and it's actually pretty simple. And it comes, they do give you a hook, and I used their hook to make the square. Um, but it's half double crochets for the center, and these petals are a pair of triple crochets, and then the square itself, these are all triple crochets as well. Triple, and so that's why I gotta make 4 more squares with this hook, otherwise. Hey, Yarn Artful Hook! I was actually talking about you a little bit earlier. Because you were talking about Bella Coco. I bought this a little while back. I had the cards. In fact, I've been doing, I just came back into the YouTube world. I was off for I took some time off for myself. But if you go back and look at my videos, I've been doing tutorials on these stitches. I've got most of the first set of cards because they come in blue, and then which are the simple stitch combinations, and then the yellow ones are the textured stitches. And right now we're going through all the simple stitch combinations, and I've gone through most of them. There's only about maybe 5 or 6 more left of the simple stitch combinations before we get into the textured ones. So look forward to that. Yes, I love these. They give good instructions on the cards themselves, and they also a lot of times they will tell you to look to page so and so for the instructions for this for that stitch, for some of the special stitches. So that's also helpful. And they also tell you hook sizes in both the US and the UK. And then on the back, it gives the stitch conversions between the US and the UK. Um, and it explains how to use the deck and what you'll find on each card. And each card, it'll have a picture, it'll give a skill level, what the multiple is for it, and the stitches used. And then on the back, then it will give the instructions. And I don't know why my camera is deciding to be fuzzy today, but it's being fuzzy right now. Um, it says a pocket stitch library in 52 cards. So, um, we've let's see, we've done the linen slash moss, ripple, primrose, shell, granny stripe, grit, the brick, herringbone double crochet, Suzette, that's a really pretty stitch, rolling waves, eyelet, block, little fans, the V stitch. V stitch you use a lot in when you make grannies. Side saddle, lark's foot, bead, B-E-A-D, the bead stitch, sturdy mesh, fillet, colander, C-O-L-A-N-D-E-R, thermal. Now that one I believe when I was doing that one, I actually had to go. A couple of these, I know I had. Are they labeled by difficulty? It does give a skill level. Like it'll say skill level beginner. Let's see if there's another one that says anything different. We have intermediate. It goes beginner, intermediate, and then advanced. So you have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And like I said, it gives a skill level, how many multiples you're going to need for that stitch, and what kind of stitches are used in making that one. Sometimes it'll give a pattern note, like if you're going to use multiple colors, or like in the shell stitch, that'll be the special stitches for it. Which underneath the special stitch, it'll say shell stitch, which I think is funny. Like it'll do that a lot. Oh, I think in my video when I did the granny stripe, I was comparing the granny stripe to an actual granny square, and I held the two together. I mean, I set the two beside each other. So, like this lace, like the first one on the textured stitches, it's called a lace cluster. Skill level beginner. Multiples are 6 plus 5, and the stitches used are chain, double crochet, and a half double crochet cluster, which is one of the special stitches. And it says refer to page 12 in the booklet for more information. And then they give like a blow on these. What is so cool about these textured stitches is not only do they have that, but they'll give what I call like a blow up of what it's supposed to look like, which is really smart. And so these cards are just really, really awesome from Bella Coco. In fact, when I was trying to figure out one of the stitches, and I went to go look it up on YouTube and how to do it, I actually found a Bella Coco video. I was like, ah! I was just over the moon to have a Bella Coco video to help better explain how to do that stitch. That was awesome. Also, I have done a few of these already. I've done some of these, and I think I've only done one, maybe two of the flowered ones. But we're doing them in order. and each have 50. Um, so keep, and they're numbered. The only some of them they give instructions, but most of them they don't give written instructions for all of them. But there are for a few of them. Um, but they give the chart symbols and what they mean. Um, so I have to really pay attention when I'm doing this because I'm not real good on charts, but I had to pay attention to what they say and what each of them mean and try to figure out. So as I'm going around the square and how to make each of these. In fact, on one of them, I actually had, I think it's on here or was it on another project? Yeah, because it was half. One of those was like half and half, or it was had like 4 different colors. I had actually referred to another book that I have to help me figure out how to make that particular granny square because it was like, okay, this is not making sense. I needed another book to help me figure out how to make it. Um, sometimes you just need that extra help. Um, and I have admitted that in the videos when I was making. I mean, I tell you up front if I have problems with something, I tell you what video I went to and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't sugarcoat anything. I pretty much tell it like it is. Um, well, I've been on here an hour and a half already, and the number of people have been going up and down. But please like, comment, subscribe. Um, and I just have Belly Coco is Lori Stories and Crochet. Hey. um, she's another one of the people I love to watch too as a live. I also like to watch Yarn Arm for Hook. She's a lot of fun too. Go see those ladies. They are both wonderful, wonderful people. Um, fact, Yarn Over Hook, she was making some squares that had little flowers in the center, and she just was like, you know what? I think I'm going to make some clothes out of these squares, which was a really awesome idea. Um, Thank you, Lori. Yes, yes. If you're watching on your phone, I've noticed that you can double tap the screen to get up to put the like on there. Um, because I know when I watch the lives, I like to watch them on my phone and on my TV. Oh, you're gonna make a sweater because you thought Never Hook. You talked about making a sweater, but you also talked about making an like a romper. Like you had that with the top and the shorts, but you weren't really sure how to do the shorts. But you also talked about making the sweater, so I think making the sweater is going to be a really nice idea, really cool idea. It's going to look really cute. Um, Whether you decide to make the sweater like long sleeves or maybe 3/4 length, either way, that would really be really cool. They were green squares, like there were 2 different shades of green, and they had like a little flower in the center. Like somebody said in the live, they look like flowers in the grass, and she was like, "Yeah, she agreed. That's what they look like." Yeah, you said that. Um, but yes, we're gonna be making, like I said, the gritty squares, and we're gonna be doing. I'm still gonna be doing the tutorials on the stitches. We're still gonna have devotions every morning. Um, I like to do pop up lives because I just don't know when I'm gonna have the time to do actual scheduled ones. So that's why I have pop ups. Um, and I was like, if you didn't miss, I hope some more towns do this. This is so cool. Here in Fort Wayne, in 2 weeks from today. Actually, it'd be on a Friday and a Saturday, but I have to work Friday, so we're doing it on Saturday. This they're going to call a thrift trail, and what you do is you go to the various thrift stores that are participating, and these are all the ones that are participating here in my town. And then as you go to these stores, then they put a stamp on there, and when you go to the stores, they give you an additional 30% off. And then after you get all your punches done, you get all your stamps on there, and you fill out your information and put your name in a drawing. But to have something like this, you know, that's really awesome. More, you know, they should. I hope something like this takes off in other towns and other states across the United States, because this is a really smart idea. I don't know who came up with this and how they got everybody that's in it, that's participating, to all cooperate on it and say, yeah, hey, I'll put my name in there. That's cool. But does your support of our nonprofits create real change in our community? Fort Wayne Thrift Trail. Like I said, I don't know who came up with it, but that's a really smart idea, and that is a really awesome idea. And I'm glad it lands on my weekend off, because I work every other weekend, so I'm glad it's landed on my weekend off. I'm so thrilled. I'm so happy. And me and my girls are all going to go. It's going to be so fun. That's going to be so fun. Like, all day today, I was thinking about it, and what's funny is in my mind, I was thinking about the old Flintstones cartoon, and where Betty and Wilma, they're going to ready to go shopping, and they're like, da 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 da, charge it. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be so fun. That's going to be so cool. We just have to, get a plan of attack of which ones we're going to first and which one we're going to second and so forth, so we can get them, go to each of the locations and get all the punches made, because a couple of them are like the same store but different location. Oh, another thing, one of the stores that I go to, they actually have, when it's in my room, they actually have these little punch cards. If you spend so much, they punch your card. And then once you get all the punches done, it's not very many punches. It's only like 6 or 7 punches. Then you bring that punched card in, and then they take an additional percentage off of your total when all the punches are done on that card. So that's another really good idea. Okay, my dog is curled up asleep behind me, and he's barking in his sleep. I don't know who or what he's barking at, but he's really barking at something in his sleep. He's like, woof, woof, woof. I can hear him barking underneath his breath. It's funny. Thank you, Yarna. It was nice to see you on here too. Thank you for coming. And thank you, Lori Stories, for coming. I am working on a blanket right now to help use up some of my stash. I just want to come on here live for a little bit. I've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes now. Um, and a number of people have gone up and down, and that's okay. I just want to let you know I'm back. Took some time off. Um, again, and I just wanted to, so I decided to come back, and I'm gonna let you know I wasn't gone forever. I'm back. And in between tutorials, well, tutorials for like the squares and the stitches, we'll have devotions, and I will maybe we'll do some more tutorials on smaller projects. I don't think I'm quite ready to do a tutorial on a blanket because when I make a blanket, it's not. I never do my own. Well, I shouldn't say never do my own. I have done my own pattern a couple times, but I usually use patterns from a book. Um, and I mean, I have like all these. I have a huge library. Well, I call it a huge library because to me it's huge. I have more books than I do. I have books on a shelf. Um, and I have my family says I have way too much yarn, but I keep telling them if you compare the amount of yarn I have compared and you compare it to some of these people I watch on YouTube, they have way more yarn than I do. um, I mean, to them I have a lot. To me, I have a lot, but not all people would say I have a lot. And I might organize my yarn differently. And I probably organize mine differently than somebody else would. Like some people, like me, I just do it by color. Period. Some people are a little more over the top, like they do it by name brand and color, or by name brand, or by weight, or they keep their yarn in plastic bags. I mean, everybody does it differently. Um, yeah, I've either got them in totes, uh, plastic like pull tote shelves. I've got them on shelves. Um, I still have yarn that's in the bags that I when I purchased them in the thrift stores because I don't have anywhere else to put them because my shelves are full. I just need to use up my scraps and start making stuff. So that's what I'm gonna do. Right now, I'm gonna make this blanket to help use up some scraps. Use up a bunch of scraps. You want to make. I don't really. I usually have somebody in mind when I make them, but usually by the time I'm done, sometimes while I'm making them, I might have somebody in mind because I usually give my stuff away to family as gifts, and some people appreciate them and some don't. But I think we all have people like that. Wait, you joke about making shorts. I just caught that. You joke about making shorts with scrubby yarn. No, that would hurt. Making no, that's funny. That's hilarious. Scrubby yarn. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I didn't see that earlier. I don't know how I missed that earlier. I apologize, but that's just funny. That would hurt. Making any clothing with scrubby yarn would hurt. Oh, speaking of scrubby yarn, I saw the most unusual. I think it's supposed to have been some sort of dishcloth, maybe. I mean, it had scrubby yarn in the center, which you would expect, but then all the rest of it on the outside, like maybe about like this big of a circle, was scrubby yarn. Okay, not this whole scheme, but like the front of this cake. But that side was the scrubby, and then the rest of it I would have expected to be in cotton yarn, because I actually have in my kitchen um, two of those that I bought, I think from some little garage yard sale, where the center was a scrubby and then the outside they used cotton yarn. But when I saw these, I didn't buy them because they bothered me. The center was a scrubby, but then the outside was made with acrylic yarn, and I'm like, no, because to me a washcloth or a dishcloth should be made with cotton yarn, not with acrylic. Um, because it just did not make any sense to me to have the center to be scrubby and the rest of it in acrylic when it should have been. I mean, if it was meant to be used to clean stuff, then it should have been made with cotton. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Um, I don't know. Anyway, um, but I am looking forward to going shopping again in 2 weeks. That's going to be fun because it's going to be me and my two girls. I do have three girls, but my third girl lives all the way over in New York. Kind of hard to go thrift shopping in Indiana when you live in New York. um, you're noisy. There's my dog Oliver. He's been tipping tapping. He's been nosy. He's to be in here in the craft room with me. Something was woken up. He's up and he shook himself off. Now he's scratching his itch. Yeah, something's bothering him. Well, I've been on here for almost 2 hours now. Started at 9 o'clock and it's almost 11 o'clock. Oh my goodness gracious. And it's August. It's August 2nd. It's almost another hour. It'll be August the 3rd. It'll be Sunday in another hour. This time is just flying. I swear when you're an adult, time flies so much faster when you're an adult than when you're a kid. You just wish you could hang on to your kid life. I don't know. At least I do. There's so many things I miss from childhood. So many things. Anyway, I want to wish all of you oh, there he is. There's Oliver. Oliver! Oh, he's scratching an itch. Sorry. Hey! Oliver. Oh, he's sorry. He had to shake off that itch. Oliver, come here. Come here. Like I can't get up that high. There we go. Can you see him? Say hi. This is Oliver. My buddy Oliver. He's my buddy. Yes, he is. He's my buddy. Ooh, I hit a good spot. I'm scratching his back and I get a good spot. Oh, okay. His nails are digging in me. But I want to wish everybody I hope you had a super Saturday, and I hope tomorrow you have a very blessed Sunday. Jet and Carrie. Hey, Jet and Carrie. Hello. Thank you to everybody and anybody. Hey. Hello to everybody and anybody. Go and watch the replay. Oh, thank you for the little hearts and the little smiley face. I love it. That's so fun. Go back and watch the replays. They're really long because this is like almost 2 hours now. And I tell you several times tonight, I have told you everything that we're going to be doing, like the devotion. We'll say it again: the devotions, the granny squares, the Bella Coco crochet deck. We're going to show. I'm going to do those stitches. Earlier today, I did a video. I did some videos. I did a video on my yarn haul and books that I got from thrift stores and half price books. And I showed you, I gotta make the rest of the squares, but I should, because the yarn that came with it, there's no way you can make the whole project with. So I use my own yarn, and I gotta finish making the rest of the squares to make the little pouch bag, the little crochet bag from Five and Below. I bought the kit from Five and Below last week, um, and I did use. Where did it go? The hook disappeared. They did come. Oh, there it is. No, not in it. Okay, the hook decided to disappear, but it did come with a plastic hook. Oh, here it is. It came with a plastic hook. And so I'm going to make the other squares with the same plastic hook that I used when I made that square. So, and then I will show you when it's done. I will show you it. Oh, something that I got from Hobby Lobby. I think I showed this one in my videos today too. It's this cute little tiny little tin. And inside said tin are some really cute little stitch markers. I didn't think they would all fit in there, but they do. We have a mushroom. We have a flower. We have a butterfly, and the butterfly is made with a little skein of yarn. I think that's adorable. I don't know if you can see that, but that's supposed to be a skein of yarn, I think. Here is a heart. That's what it looks like it's made with yarn. A little bumblebee made with a little ball of yarn. And a gnome. And they all fit inside this little tin. This little teeny tiny, this little tin. This cute little tin. I don't remember how much I paid for it. It wasn't much though. Isn't that cute? Isn't that adorable? It's so cute. And they all fit in there. That tiny little tin. But yeah, we'll do some more, we'll do some more projects, do some more little projects. Go back and watch all my old videos and put in likes and comments. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, subscribe. Go watch Jet and Carrie. Go watch Yarn Over Hook. Go watch Lori's Stories and Crochet. They are wonderful, wonderful people. Go watch them as well. Watch all their videos, like, comment, and subscribe to them. Go watch their lives. I'm one of those people who only, besides promoting myself, I like to promote others. I've done that in past videos. Because in this crochet world, we really should, promote everybody that crochets and be, in order to be, be nice, because, not everybody in this world knows how to crochet or knit or loom knit. I also loom knit, a major project that needs to get finished. It's like over here, it's like, at this point, I think all I need to do is just get it off the loom, but I still have more I want to get done. I mean, at this point, if I were to stand up, I think it goes like the whole length of me. Not just about. It's heavy. I really should just finish it off, and then I can't get myself to do it, but I really do just need to finish that one off. It's like all shades of purple, because purple's my favorite color. That one's I'm making for myself anyway, so that's why it's kind of been on the back burner. But I do work on it from time to time. And then another thing that I've working on from time to time lately. Actually, I just started working on it. Years ago, I made a small blanket I made two panels to make this little blanket. Now I'm going to add like a third panel and maybe a fourth panel to it to make it bigger for my daughter. Because the one I made for her when she was little, and now it's too small for her, so now she wants me to make it bigger. So I'm going to do that. Okay, it is literally now just barely over. It's like 2 hours and 15 seconds. And then it's barely over 2 hours I've been on here. But some people, when they make their lives, some are only on for an hour, some are on for 2 hours. And then I have seen some YouTubers literally on there like all day long, or at least half. Well, it seems like they're on there for all 24 hours. I think they're only on there for like half the day or 4 or 5 hours. You know, everybody does things differently. But I hadn't had time until tonight to do it. And actually, I was going to come on at 8, but then nice, beautiful group of ladies were on one particular channel. I was like, okay, I have to stop and watch them. It's like every time I wanted to put on a live, I'm like, oh no, there's somebody else I want to see. This person I want to watch. This person I want to watch. And it's like I can't have a live and watch them while they're on their live too. That doesn't work. So, because I do everything on my phone. I mean, I guess I could have watched them by TV and do a live on my phone at the same time, but that wouldn't be right because then you could hear them in the background. So, yeah. um, um, I'm gonna take this off a minute because I know when I go back in my room, probably gonna be getting ready for bed. But if you see me for one moment, ooh. I could read it, but it says, "Bless this mess," because my craft room is a bit messy. Oof. And then, be kind always. "365 days of the year, be kind always." 365 days of kindness. Be kind always. We need more kindness in this world. We truly do. We really do. We need more kindness in this world. Thank you again for everybody who stopped by. Go back and watch the replay. And Lori, I know. I remember what you told me that when I go to put this on YouTube, I have to change a setting on it after I send this in order for it to play so that you guys can see it. See the replay. Because you taught me that. And I thank you for that. Because when it's on at least when you're doing the live on the phone, that's how it works. It's weird. Because it's different than when you do it on your laptop. And I was going to do this on my laptop, but my laptop would not cooperate. So I had to do it on my phone. Maybe I would do this again tomorrow. I have to think about it. But y'all have a wonderful week. Have a super Saturday. Hope you had a super Saturday. And that you have a very blessed Sunday. And you have a wonderful weekend. If you had to work this weekend, I'm sorry. And if it's your weekend off, hooray! I'm a silly person. If you like silliness, watch me. If you like thrifting and crocheting, watch me. Because I do my thrift hauls are always with yarn. Occasionally, it might be some knickknacks, but it's usually, which is where I got those too from, was some thrift store, but it's usually yarn. Y'all have a very, very wonderful day, and I love y'all. Bye. Oh.